Coca-Cola Collectibles Price and Value Guide. Considering that the company is one of the most recognizable in the world, there is a significant degree of demand in Coca-Cola memorabilia. As more Coke enthusiasts entering the industry and demand rises, even items produced in the 1940s and 1950s are frequently in high demand and pricey. The old Coca-Cola collectibles can bring very high prices. Some of the artifacts can be considered ancient, because the company was established more than a generation ago and the first bottle of cola was presented in 1886. The age and rarity of some antiques drive up their auction prices, which is why calendars, posters, and trays are just a few examples of the various items of Coca-Cola memorabilia that can provide insight into the development of advertising. Coca-Cola logos and bottles have undergone numerous changes over the years, serving as a historical snapshot of consumer goods manufacturing design. Coca-Cola collectibles are a popular thing to collect because of the large number of collectibles that are offered and the wide range of costs. This article, Coca-Cola Collectibles with Price and Value Guides, will discuss some of the more expensive collectible products. A short history of Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola was first founded in 1886, it was only used as a patent medicine. But in 1887, a businessman and pharmacist by the name of Asa Candler purchased the recipe for Coca-Cola and launched a protracted marketing effort for the drink. Calendars, trays, and posters were created as part of these marketing. On them was a drawing of a stylish woman holding a glass of Coca-Cola and looking quite healthy. The major goal of this advertising effort is to make the product seem delightful and refreshing, and to top it off, most ads include the product's price, 5 cents at the time, and statements that suggest Coca-Cola can help people feel less worn out. A history of Coca-Cola's memorabilia. Coca-Cola collections reportedly became more popular in the 1900s, according to Antique Trader.com. You name whatever, Coca-Cola Company likely printed advertisements on it. There were trays, calendars, signage, and so on. Both domestically and internationally, the products are widely dispersed. On Morphe Auction, this sign had a price of $1,800 in 2019. Metal and cardboard signs were employed by store owners and service stations to promote seasonal sales or other events, and they were then simply thrown away. These Coca-Cola antiques are now highly prized by collectors all over the world. Collectors are particularly interested in goods that were made between the late 1800s and the late 1960s but are less interested in newer products. Coca-Cola Collectibles. There is no restriction on what collectors will find valuable, but when it comes to Coca-Cola, you may find many of the following in a savvy collector's cabinet. Vintage and limited edition bottles and cans. Signs. Container openers. Child's playthings. Calendars. Beverage trays. Cutouts from cardboard. Posters. A deck of cards. Records on vinyl. Clocks. Military supplies. Fountains and soda machines. While some collectors like looking for different Coca-Cola memorabilia, others would rather focus on building a specialized collection of one kind of item, like cans or bottles. Over the years, Coca-Cola has produced several limited edition/commemorative cans, as well as glass and plastic bottles, which make for attractive collector's items. The drink was originally supplied in several bottles as the business expanded, but in 1915 the glass Coca-Cola bottles we are familiar with today were developed. This shape lasted with the business and practically became an emblem. A pre-1900s glass bottle known as a Hutchinson's bottle, which may sell for more than $2,000 in the appropriate antique market, is the only Coca-Cola bottle that a dedicated Coca-Cola collector would be lucky enough to acquire. Collectible Coca-Cola branded products that date back to before 1900 are the most prized to collectors and frequently fetch the highest auction prices. While some of the rare commemorative bottles date to the 1930s and 1940s, the Coca-Cola business didn't truly start making bottles to honor occasions or people until the 1980s. Since Coca-Cola is a prominent sponsor of many important athletic events, including the Olympics, you may find a wide variety of sports-related collectibles. Valuable early Coca-Cola collectibles. Numerous Coca-Cola antiques collectibles are highly sought after by passionate collectors. The firm was noted for its creative marketing initiatives. Advertisement for Lilian Nordica. Lilian Nordica, an American opera singer, attained fame in the late 19th century. She represented pop culture in her time perfectly, and Coca-Cola utilized her image on calendars, billboards, bookmarks, and even trays. Items with her likeness on them were greatly sought after by people who accumulated Coca-Cola memorabilia, opera memorabilia, and of course advertising memorabilia. This was an innovative strategy for branding and promotion. Lilian Nordica, an American opera singer, attained fame in the late 19th century. She represented pop culture in her time perfectly, and Coca-Cola utilized her image on calendars, billboards, bookmarks, and even trays. Items with her likeness on them were greatly sought after by people who accumulated Coca-Cola memorabilia, opera memorabilia, and of course advertising memorabilia. This was an innovative strategy for branding and promotion. Hutchinson bottle. Prior to 1900, eager consumers received Coca-Cola in a unique container shape known as the Hutchinson bottle. The Hutchinson bottle is an exception to the general rule that antique Coke bottles are not particularly rare. An exceptional example of this bottle might fetch more than $2,000 at auction. However, the condition has a significant impact on this pricing. Prior to 1900, eager consumers received Coca-Cola in a unique container shape known as the Hutchinson bottle. The Hutchinson bottle is an exception to the general rule that antique Coke bottles are not particularly rare. An exceptional example of this bottle might fetch more than $2,000 at auction. However, the condition has a significant impact on this pricing. Coca-Cola vending machines. To the appropriate purchasers, Coca-Cola vending machines, even those in a condition of disrepair or that are no longer functional, can be worth a few $1,000s. Even while 1950s Vendo brand machines are by far the most desired, you can frequently locate a variety of vintage Coca-Cola branded vending machines for sale between $1,000 and $10,000. To the appropriate purchasers, Coca-Cola vending machines, even those in a condition of disrepair or that are no longer functional, can be worth a few $1,000s. Even while 1950s Vendo brand machines are by far the most desired, you can frequently locate a variety of vintage Coca-Cola branded vending machines for sale between $1,000 and $10,000. Coca-Cola trays with decorations. Coca-Cola made a name for itself in early 20th century advertising with its attractive tin trays. Typically, these serving trays depicted a happy image of a guy or woman enjoying a bottle of Coke. Although there are many replicas of these charming trays, the originals, like this 1930s, 1940s tray, are significantly more precious. To the right collectors, the greatest examples may fetch between $50 and $100. Coca-Cola made a name for itself in early 20th century advertising with its attractive tin trays. Typically, these serving trays depicted a happy image of a guy or woman enjoying a bottle of Coke. Although there are many replicas of these charming trays, the originals, like this 1930s, 1940s tray, are significantly more precious. To the right collectors, the greatest examples may fetch between $50 and $100. 1915 prototype bottle. The Coca-Cola bottle underwent several rounds of redesigning in the early 20th century before becoming the now iconic design that it is today. However, there are thought to be relatively few of these prototype bottles, and one was sold at auction. As one of the most precious Coke goods ever sold, this Roots Company prototype bottle from 1915, which is believed to be the only one of its kind to have survived and sold for $105,000, was one of the most expensive items ever produced. Coca-Cola bottles. Since Coca-Cola was marketed in bottles almost from the beginning of its distribution, there are many distinct bottles from various decades available. But only the Hutchinson bottle is considered valuable among Coca-Cola bottles. The value of antique bottles that were produced early in the company's history and have flat-sided or vertical sides is slightly higher than that of other bottles, but not significantly. Coca-Cola bottles are a good time to collect, but their worth isn't so great and doesn't increase over time. Historical bottles are highly valuable. Historical significance is a term that speaks for itself. A vintage Coca-Cola bottle that represents a pivotal moment in the history of the well-known brand is worth thousands of dollars. As the 1923 Christmas bottle and the wine Coca from the 19th century. They are frequently collectors' favorites because they connect to the core purpose of antique and vintage collections, which is to preserve history. Let's start by quickly evaluating the most expensive Coca-Cola bottles ever. No. Vintage Coca-Cola bottle manufacturing year sold year cost 1 Coca-Cola Root Glass Company. Modified prototype bottle, 1, 1915-2011 $240,000 2 Coca-Cola Root Glass Company. Modified prototype bottle, 2, 1915-2019 $108,000 3 unopened Coca-Cola bottle 1974 $20 $29, 9,000 and 2 4 French wine Coca 1880 2014 $5,000 5 Dallas Cowboys Coke, limited edition, 1984 2019 $5,000 6 Hutchinson Coca-Cola bottle C. 1889 to 1906 2021 $4,000 7 Thailand Coca-Cola ACL bottle 1973 $3,350 8 Seoul Olympic Games commemorative bottle 1988 2021 $2, 5,000 and 2 9 1900s Coke bottle C. Identification and value. Maybe you found a vintage Coca-Cola bottle in your grandmother's attic or an attic serving dish with the company's logo. Does it have any worth? Is it even a replica or a genuine Coca-Cola product? Because Coke continues to produce items like wastebaskets emblazoned with its old advertising imagery and holiday ornaments, it is crucial to verify the product's age and identification in order to assess its value. An authentic collector's book, such as Petretti's Coca-Cola Price Guide and Encyclopedia, can help you identify your item, ascertain its age, and calculate its worth. The item's condition is important to consider as well. Flaws, dents, aging, and deterioration significantly lower the value of potential acquisitions. Coca-Cola Collectibles with Price Guides Auctions. Reproduction Metalcraft Coca-Cola Bottling Truck. Collectors always have a strong preference for toys, and this 11-inch truck in very good to outstanding condition was no different. It contained the box without the end flaps and the 10 original glass bottles. It was sold in 2009 at Morphy Auctions for $702. 00. Coca-Cola Norman Rockwell Serving Tray. This Norman Rockwell serving tray, from 1931, is 13 1/4 by 10 1/2 inches and features a painting of a little child drinking Coke. The purchase price at Morphy Auctions in 2013 was $600. It's worth noting that a nearly mint example of this tray brought $1,610 at auction in 2010. Die-cut tin Coca-Cola bottle sign. Many items of Coke memorabilia feature this painted glass Coke bottle. Discovering an antique die-cut tin sign from approximately 1954 like this is a good purchase for any collector, despite the fact that it can also be found in innumerable replicas. A few small dings, crimps, folds, light discoloration, and markings are present on this artifact. However, it's regarded as being in fantastic shape. The image is misleading because the object was sold for $345 in 2008 at Morphy Auctions and is a full 6 feet tall. Coca-Cola tin thermometer. In almost perfect condition with only a few small surface dents, this 9-inch 1950s thermometer was auctioned at Morphy Auctions for $2,400. 00 USD in 2016. Cardboard Coca-Cola Santa Easelback display. Santa Claus and the Coca-Cola advertisement worked hand in hand, so it seems logical that collectors would want souvenirs with Santa on it. 2008 saw the sale at Morphy Auctions of a die-cut cardboard easel-backed exhibition from the 1950s for $258. 75. It was judged to be in great condition, measuring 36 inches broad by 48 inches tall, with just a small, sealed hole at the bottom, some light scratches, and light wear. Rare Canadian cardboard Coca-Cola poster. This 1920s cardboard Coke advertisement was designed specifically for the Canadian market and is exceptionally rare. Even alone, the artwork with the wooden case of bottles is unusual. It is uncommon to see cardboard in such good shape after so many years. With good touch-up, it does display little wear, small marks, and noticeable rubs. The poster measures 22 by 28 inches. In 2008, it was framed with glass and offered for $5,462.50 through Morphe Auctions. Coca-Cola life-size cardboard military girl sign. A life-size stand-up sign from the 1940s that was created during World War II and measured 24 by 64 inches sold at Morphe Auctions in 2008 for $287.50. Most expensive Coca-Cola collectibles ever sold. There are many more antique collectibles that are quite rare and highly fascinating, attractive, or distinctive, yet these may be the most expensive Coca-Cola collectibles ever sold. On the Coca-Cola advertising sign auction, you can find your own vintage Coca-Cola advertising tray, sign, mirror, early bottle, or artistic lamp. Early glass globe, $140,000. The priciest Coca-Cola memorabilia is a genuine work of art. A 13-inch sphere covered in an intricate mosaic of green, red, white, and ivory-stained glass. A magnificently significant historical chandelier that was made at some point in the early 20th century. There are many hanging glass globes for Coca-Cola around the world, but this one is particularly uncommon and expensive because of its fine detail and tiny glass bits. Cameo paper sign, $105,000. This Coca-Cola cameo paper sign is very valuable in part because there are so few pre-1900 posters surviving in existence. The daughter of the theater custodian discovered it in the attic in the mid-1970s and took it home from the small theater nearby Times Square in New York where it had previously hung above a soda fountain. One of the most expensive Coca-Cola collectibles in the world, the poster was repaired and is now in excellent condition. An advertisement for Coca-Cola that measures 40 by 30 inches and reads, "Drink Coca-Cola, delicious, refreshing, cures headaches, relieves exhaustion, at soda fountains $5. 00-inch features a woman holding a glass of the beverage. Leaded globe soda dispenser, $100,000. Only a small number of these leaded globe soda dispensers are reported to be present, making them one of the most coveted and unusual Coca-Cola collectibles on Earth. The Coca-Cola brand name is in the center of a stained glass globe. It is an adaptation of the first item on our list. Victorian Girl Tray, $95,000. The Victorian Girl Tray from 1897 is thought to be the first lithographed tin tray the Coca-Cola Company has ever used for advertising. These trays are rare and nonetheless have historical value. For the 1900s, the picture is incredibly iconic. Girl on hammock, $80,000. While this festoon was originally intended as a festive decoration advertisement, it is now appreciated as a work of art. One of the best examples of early lithography still exists, and it features a girl drinking Coca-Cola while lounging in a hammock. This wonderfully realistic image provides insight into early advertising and art forms around the turn of the 20th century. The "Girl on Hammock" dates from circa 1913, a time when public spaces were ornamented with festoons like this that hung from two ribbons. The fact that this specific artifact was almost in immaculate condition contributed to its high price. Clubs for Coca-Cola collectors. Nowadays, a lot of Coca-Cola collectibles enthusiasts appreciate becoming a part of the group. The organization, which has more than 40 regional chapters across the U.S., also holds annual conventions, regional events, and both live and silent auctions. A monthly newsletter is also published by the Coca-Cola Collectors Club, and their website features stories about prominent collectors. For enthusiasts of Coca-Cola, there is also the Kavanaugh's Coca-Cola Christmas Collectors Society. A member of this specialized organization collects Coca-Cola holiday decorations and memorabilia. Where to sell my Coca-Cola collectibles online? Coca-Cola memorabilia is frequently sought for and expensive because it is one of the most popular brands in the world. Coca-Cola collectibles are a good thing to collect since the value of these collectibles, especially those from the 1940s and 1950s, is consistently high. Therefore, a few trustworthy online marketplaces where you can sell your vintage Coca-Cola collectibles are described. Amazon. One of the largest global internet merchants, Amazon sells millions of items in a variety of categories. The Amazon platform's algorithm will suggest your item to customers who are interested in buying it based on their prior search histories when you list your Coca-Cola collectible for sale there. Etsy. For makers, artists, and vintage collectors alone, this community and direct sales site. Selling your Coca-Cola collectibles on the site will allow you to reach the network's 1 million active customers and 1.6 million active vendors. Coca-Cola collectibles can be listed on Etsy for a period of 4 months before you need to renew your listing, which costs $0. $20 per item. Selling your collectibles on Etsy is an amazing idea because it is best suited for vintage goods or craft-related resources. Ruby Lane. Ruby Lane is a trustworthy marketplace for folks who like to gather. The website promises to connect buyers and sellers of jewelry, antiques, vintage goods, and art. Ruby Lane receives more than 1 million unique visitors each month, most of them are from the US, Australia, Germany, UK, and Canada. If your target market is present in the countries, Ruby Lane can be a great choice for you. Walmart. One of the world's top retailers, Walmart is a recent entrant to the e-commerce industry. Here, vendors can list and sell their goods in a marketplace. eBay. A trustworthy venue for buying or selling collectibles worldwide is eBay. At eBay, look up reliable collections merchants who specialize in Coca-Cola memorabilia on Google and get in touch with them. Facts. Do Coca-Cola collectibles have any value? The Hutchinson bottle is an exception, even though antique Coke bottles aren't very hard to find. A bottle in this condition might fetch more than $2,000 at auction. But how much it costs really depends on the state. What Coca-Cola bottle is the rarest? The modified prototype bottle by Root Glass Company is the most uncommon Coca-Cola bottle ever produced. The main bottling company of the business in Atlanta created it in 1915. The bottle is reportedly one of just 2 still in existence from the original Atlanta facility. What use did Coca-Cola trays serve? They were utilized by the employee at the soda fountain to provide customers Coca-Cola glasses and serve as a visual cue for what beverage to order. Trays cost the Coca-Cola Company between 12 and 14 cents each in the 1920s, which represented a little portion of the company's entire advertising spend. Final words. Given the variety of past and present things listed, you may wish to decide on a focus for your collection. For example, you can decide to solely collect items from the early era or items with a festive aspect. Whatever you choose, these vintage collectibles are enjoyable to own, exhibit, and enjoy because of the long history of Coca-Cola collectibles. We trust that this post on Coca-Cola Collectibles Price and Value Guide has increased your understanding of the context, importance, and steps involved in classifying and appraising antique Coca-Cola collectibles. Feel free to leave a comment below if you have any more queries or observations. Thank you.